Haiden Deegan is officially back. He won Arlington Supercross, and he looked like himself. He looked like the Haiden Deegan of SMX from last year, just straight up dominant. And he kind of mentioned it on press day and the press conference. He basically mentioned it all weekend long that he didn't have the intensity that he normally had. And I kind of feel like now thinking back at other races, that's exactly what it was. He just didn't have that.
You know, obviously they talked about he switched off of Christian Craig and went back to the farm. I don't know that I really think that that's what it was. Didn't ever seem like a fitness thing. Like we said, it just seemed like kind of that drive, and maybe the switch from Christian Craig back to the farm with everybody brought some fun into it. That seemed like the most likely thing when they were talking about he's very, you know, fun driven kind of person. If he's not enjoying it, I mean, I can relate to that. If I'm not enjoying it, I don't want anything to do with it, and it just sucks, you know. So I don't know that it was necessarily. I saw some people saying that they thought, oh well, you know, this switch, he's in better shape, or I think it's all mental with him. You know, when he believes and he's enjoying it, he's super dangerous. Danger daddy. You know?
No pun intended. But yeah, absolutely. I think also, like you just mentioned, like riding with those guys, bringing that fun in, getting that intensity in during the week. Maybe he was lacking that with Christian Craig. Like I saw something like it was more one-on-one type stuff, and so he wasn't raising. He wasn't practicing with the guys, so he was kind of losing that. And maybe that's what it is, or maybe he just flipped a switch and and just started dominating again. He did win there last year.
Yeah, I mean, I was also going to say that it is like an East Coast round, and he's kind of the GOAT in ruts. So I wasn't super surprised, obviously. I did say he'd be back. I thought more because it's ruts, he's the best in the 250 class when it's a rutty track. When it's a rough track, I've heard Brian talk about that a lot, that the West Coast tracks are a lot harder for him because you can't override them, and there isn't as much of like a, I don't want to say skill gap, but like the ruts add a different element that he's just amazing in. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that can make sense. That was always something that really impressed me with Eli Tomac, was that he's in La La Land in Colorado by himself like 90% of the time. I mean, whenever I rode, I would always ride by myself and then feel like, oh man, I'm ripping. And then you go out with a buddy that's just as fast as you and he gaps you and you're like, oh, okay, well. But then after a few hours, you can hang with him because you just have something to judge off. So yeah, I don't know. Very, very interesting, but glad to see him back. I mean, I think I would be nervous if I was everybody else.
And you know what's also kind of crazy too is like he didn't have the greatest starts either. Like his starts weren't back. Like even going back to like the few rounds beforehand too. Like his starts are still horrible, man. They're like still bad. Like second race he was dead last. He looked like he was about to get the jump. And then he just lost the drive, basically. And it was dead last in Moto 2. And actually came back and won that race. Passed Mosman on the last lap. I'm going to say it. Mosman kind of let up.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a little bit.
Mosman definitely rolled over a little bit.
Just a little bit. Moto 1, though. Does he win that race if Jordan doesn't crash? You know, like he did come from the pack and he did crash. He still had like 2.5 laps, I think, left before like the actual finish. They were
going into the white flag.
Oh yeah, they're going into the white flag, and then Jordan crashed.
I think he would have at least made one pass attempt. Now, if he was close, Degan was going to take him off of the track if he was close enough, right? So like if he was actually able to make the pass attempt, I think Jordan was going to go down anyway. And I do think he would get close enough. Whether he was able to actually execute the pass or not is another thing, but I do think there would have been an attempt for a pass. I mean, he was just faster, and yeah. Jordan was looking amazing, though, unfortunately for him.
I do agree that Degan would have made a pass attempt 100%. I do agree with that. I don't know if it would have worked, right? Maybe Jordan maybe would have held off, and maybe Jordan doesn't crash if Degan was closer, right? I also feel that when Jordan went down, as much as it was himself, it was also maybe like the lapper in the way, like the guy crashed. Like maybe, like I was even saying this, that maybe he was trying to slow down in the whoop so he doesn't crash. And then I kind of rewatched it, and just initially, like his back tire already started sliding, and then he just went off. And you guys seen the video? It's crazy.
I mean, I think there was a lot that happened there. I don't know that it was obviously a mistake on Jordan's side, but I also think it reminded me of James Stewart when James Stewart crashed because the flagger was running across the track. I think that was Thunder Valley, and it just a distraction at that level, that speed, when you have that much pressure from Degan, like a lot happened there for him to go down in a very short amount of time, which was really sad because he was actually ripping.
If he doesn't go down, I do agree that Degan would have made a pass attempt, but I think Jordan would have held off for that win. Personally, I do believe that, and we do say like I want to say that like our prayers go out to Jordan. It sounds like he has broken ribs, a punctured lung, which is never good. To me, he like landed on his head, man. Like he just went straight to his head, and like I thought it was gonna be neck, shoulder, collarbone, and then he said broken ribs. I'm like, that's it? Like obviously, honestly, like that's it is not as bad. Yeah, like obviously punctured lung. I've been there. It's not great. It's not good. But I thought it would be like a Pierce Brown situation, right? Like a T5, like upper neck type stuff.
He looked pretty spicy too. I mean, who did he punt?
Cody Shock.
It was so unnecessary. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like he didn't realize, but it didn't even look like Cody cut down that much. I mean, it literally looked like Anderson or Barsha just straight went for him, I was like, oh, well, I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean.
And the going back onto the track by Cody was so sick. Like, seriously, like him just going off, doubling back on and just kept going like nothing happened. That was
like
legendary.
MX Bikes re-entry right there,
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm thinking. It was gnarly. One rider that doesn't look like himself, and Degan pulled away in the points lead. Juju Bomer. Dude.
Didn't he have a wreck?
He had a get off in qualifying.
Something with his shoulder, right?
Yeah, so supposedly he popped out his shoulder. Not sure which shoulder. I didn't hear anything which one, but he popped it out, and then that's why his riding was kind of bad, which is totally understandable. Let's be real. Like you do that and then like kind of no strength that day, right? And then you got to rebuild it. But yeah, just kind of surprising. I mean, even the crash that he had was kind of surprising in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I at first I was really scratching my head with what he was doing, and then I saw the shoulder thing, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, that seems, I can't imagine popping your shoulder out and then being like, yeah, let's go race, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like on the broadcast and when we do our watch parties, like we have no idea what happened, right? So we're just thinking as of that moment, like what the hell is going on? And then afterwards, when we post our stuff, it's like, oh, he had a pop shoulder. Well, like our reactions are going to be based off of that, not having that information, right?
I will tell you, the person that I think, if I'm looking at the season, who I think is the best overall rider, but the results don't show it, I think it's Cole.
Cole Davies?
Mm-hmm.
First moto, fourth place, not bad.
I mean, that one was okay. Like, it was an all right race.
Second race gets taken out in the start by Cole Thompson, man. If he doesn't go down there,
again.
You don't care about that crash. If he doesn't go down in the first one, he wins that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he pulls whole shot. Degan's buried. I don't think you're catching Cole, right?
I think if you look at the season, even A1, right? A1, he was buried. The Glendale, he should have won Glendale, but like again, I guess we can blame his one bad start for that. But I mean, that wasn't really his fault. That tough block just
randomly,
randomly spawned in front of him.
Yeah,
and then he gets taken out here and has a great comeback. He was really far up. I think he was like 9th or 10th, and then he crashed again, which I guess we can say that was his own issue. I don't know what happened there, but I still think like overall, if you take out the bad luck and he's getting starts, I think Cole might be the best in would have the red plate right now.
I low-key kind of agree with you.
I mean, like obviously there's a lot of like hypotheticals and what ifs in there, but when Cole doesn't have something ridiculous happen to him, where he lands on his teammate or gets taken out or something, I mean, he's winning and he's fast and he looks. Every race, Cole looks better, more aggressive, faster. more dangerous.
I think if he pulls whole shot in the East-West Showdown, he's winning.
I mean, I think I would say that about Cole, Degan, Anstey, and maybe Kitchen.
Yeah, I would say
Kitchen,
those fours.
Kitchen is a maybe, but Cole, Anstey or Degan pulls whole shot, GG's. Honestly, Degan might start 16th and it still be GG's.
Okay, so now let's talk about second place. Cody Shock? Bro,
yeah,
you had that on your bingo card? Hey, don't come at me. Don't come at me for my pre-ranked 20th.
Guys, if we remember the beginning of the season, this guy said Cody Shock was 20th to 15th.
I really don't have any comment about it. I put him 20th because I thought other guys would be better, but he's better than all the guys that I probably put up to top 8 right now.
Cody and Wheels, because Wheels is all over us for this. Cody and Wheels, let the record be known here. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
My plate's clean, brothers. You know what I mean?
Cody was ripping, bro. In the first race, he was in the lead for a little bit. In the second race, didn't he pull a whole shot in the second race? I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was up there, like top 3 every start.
Kind of cool, too, about this story is his mechanic is a veteran. So it was Military Appreciation Week.
W.
And so, like, huge W for that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I definitely put him way too low on the preseason rankings. He was ripping.
He was ripping last year, too.
Yeah, I fucked up.
but he's been ripping.
Yeah,
but
I messed up.
I mean, he looked great. So did you mention Mosman. Mosman looks really good, but like clearly it's just like happy to be there and it's like, hey man, you know, I'm happy to be up here. You can go on by. Like doesn't have a ton of fight in him, like aggressiveness, but he never has, in my opinion. He's always been like a real chill, mellow dude. But he definitely looks like almost surprised in some ways, and like even on the podium he said like a big sigh of relief. Maybe surprised isn't the right word, but just kind of soaking it in, you know, where he was just enjoying the day and riding good. And I mean, I love it. Bring that. Well, I mean, get rid of the neck brace, but I know he's broken his neck a bunch of times. But
I just want him to stay healthy and see what he can do all year, because obviously he's going outdoors too. Like, can he be healthy throughout the season? I think he might move up to second in the championship now with, or just hang on, with Jordan out. I know Juju's going to be there, but what about his pop shoulder? Is it going to be healthy enough? I'm saying like him and Cole, like I think him, Cole, and Juju are going to be battling for second place.
Man, first Cody, now Cole.
No, crazy. I'm just saying they're going to be battling for second place, like all three of them, right? Like that's just what I think. Now, is that going to be accurate? It just really depends on how Juju bounces back. That's really all what it does. Speaking
of dumb takes, can we talk about the last lap of the 450 class? What are we doing?
I have no words.
What are we doing?
I reverse jinx. I reverse jinx Cooper Webb for the win. I also reverse jinx Haiden Deegan for the win because I had him off my podium. So you guys are welcome.
All right,
Webb fans and Degan fans. But yeah, what is Chase Sexton doing?
I will say I absolutely respect the send for the win, right? Like I respect that. Just absolutely going for it, wanted to win. However, what are we doing? You know, I mean, dude, I didn't look at my phone or anything. The only thing I saw was Darius in my Discord comment, we don't talk about that, because I was like 3 races behind and I just see we don't talk about that. So I knew something was going to happen. I wasn't sure what it was. And we're going into that race and I kept telling my wife, he's going to throw. Like, he's going to throw. I can just feel it. Sexton's going to throw. And then it went to the last lap and I'm like, oh, well, I thought maybe what we don't talk about was the stall that he did.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
He doesn't use his clutch in the corners. So if he tucks the front like that and the bike's in low RPM, it's just going to stall. He's not Tomac and feather the clutch. He never has, and that's why it stalls.
What do you mean not like Tomac? 99.9% of the pro riders has their finger on the clutch 90% of the time.
Chase doesn't use it in the corners. That's why it stalls a lot.
That's crazy. What happened to him on the start? Like it just like it kicked in gear. Or did he bump? I was wondering if it was in gear and the bike was off, and then when he bumped his starter, because I've done that before, and it like takes off, and I don't know. But I mean, I respect the send. You know, I mean, I will say that was a, you know, there was a great, the pride before the fall.
I'm gonna be completely honest. This might be a random take on this. I don't think he was like sending it there. I personally don't. Like, yes, he was trying to go for a win, but I don't think he was trying. Listen. I don't think he was like trying to go for a pass there, man. I think he just hit the rhythm section how he normally did, and then when he landed on braking bumps, and it just tucked the front. And so when he landed, it tucked the front a tiny bit, and then Cooper Webb cut down and braked, and so he had nowhere. Yes, but he has nowhere to go when it tucked the front, I know. And then the wheel tapped Cooper Webb, and then he crashed. Like, I don't think a lot of people were saying, "Oh, why was he trying for a pass?" I don't think it was that. I think it was just when he landed, he just hit the braking bumps, and the wheel tucked a little bit, and then he hit Cooper Webb, and then he crashed. I think he should have maybe went for the pass and the whoops, and he probably would have got him too personally, and like passed him in the corner. Or just stay in second.
Or just win.
Yeah, like
or just like win.
Like,
I don't know.
But yeah, gotta respect him trying, but I don't think it was necessarily him going for a pass. I think he was just hitting his marks, and it would just an awkward situation.
When I say I respect the send, I don't know. I don't think he was trying to pass there either. I just mean clearly he was trying to win the race and was riding very fast to try and win the race, and did not need to be going that fast whatsoever. So like, I respect trying to go out and dominate. However, I think that crash has like severe implications for the chip, because it's not just this race. Cooper Webb is already rent-free in everyone's head, and like, we just keep giving this dude more ammo, and he keeps making snarky comments on the podium in press releases. Like, now Cooper knows that Chase is still a glass house, you know?
I have no words. I don't know what to say about it. Like, I personally think he should have just backed it down and just gotten a second and won the race.
Like, I think he should have at least 2 more wins this year. I mean, obviously, he's just throwing.
Like, Tampa, at least 2. Tampa in this one, 100%. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I personally think this is going to be the turning point, and the turning point for Chase. Like, I think Webb is going to be 1-2, 1-2-3, regardless of what's going to happen every week out. But it's really going to be on like Chase, on how he bounces back and what he can do each race. A lot of people were saying to me that he should honestly just let the race come to him and don't force anything, and be on the box every single round and get wins, and don't force anything, and you'll win the championship.
I hate to say this, because Chase looks amazing. Like, looks incredible when he's not on the ground, not doing dumb things. I think Ken Roczen has a better shot at the chip than he does right now.
That's a hot take, and that's a horrible take.
I don't
19
I don't
point
think
down?
So. I think his inconsistency is going to just eat him alive. Cooper will not make mistakes. Cooper will not make mistakes unless, if Cooper makes a mistake, he's out of the season. Like, he's out of the rest of the season. Like, if he makes a mistake, he's going to crash out of the season completely. I don't think you're going to see Cooper Webb making little tip overs and washing the front, and like, no. Cooper Webb he could get bad starts. That's like the one thing. Like, he could get some bad starts. I just don't know that Chase can pass him when he knows it's Cooper Webb, and Cooper Webb is so good at doing Cooper Webb things. Yeah. Like, speed-wise, absolutely Chase is faster. Like, no question. But there's just like, when you get close to Cooper Webb, it's like everyone just, I saw this meme of like, you know, the like white and black circles that spin.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a psychedelic thing. It was like when people get near Cooper Webb, and it was just like someone looking at one of those. And
yeah.
Literally so true. But I think Kenny, of the 3, is going to be the most consistent the rest of the year. He's far enough back where I don't know that he'll end up winning. But I do think if you like average the finishes, Kenny will be the most consistent the rest of the year.
Bro, I was looking this up because for our review, he's been on the podium 5 out of the 7 rounds. 5 out of the 7 rounds. And I looked up the Tampa score, and I just gave him a mediocre finish. I gave him 15 points, which I think is like 5th or 6th. Like, literally. He would be tied with Chase. Like, he would be right there with Chase in points. Like, that Tampa race screwed him, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I low-key think Kenny has the best shot at the championship if Tampa didn't exist. And he's buried. I think he's going to get really close at the end of the year. I think it's going to be close where he like legitimately has a shot. Do you think Sexton wins next week though?
This might be a bad thing to say, but I kind of hope Webb has a bad finish, Sexton has a mediocre finish, and then Roczen wins, and then you would have a closer points lead. So, like, for example, Cooper Webb finishes 7th or 8th, Sexton finishes 3 or 4,
and Kenny wins.
Right? And then the points would be way closer, right? Obviously, Chase would be maybe a little bit ahead, but that scenario would be sick to see.
What we need here, I'm gonna lay it out for you, okay? Chase Sexton and Cooper Webb lap the entire field up to like 11th. Okay, then somehow both of their bikes break. Okay, so they still get a decent finish, and then Kenny wins. There you go.
There you go. Hey, that's nice. I mean, we haven't had a mutter this year.
No, I do think, I know we're kind of leaking into next week right now, but I don't see anyone beating Sexton at Daytona.
I might have to reverse jinx. I might go Sexton off the podium just so we can win the race, man. I might just say it.
I mean, I'm hoping to be surprised by Kenny. Kenny's, I guess, always done well there, but then fades because it's like outdoors and whatever. So maybe this year he doesn't seem to be doing that. So maybe Kenny's going to be the go. That'd be fire. Kenny wins Daytona.
Chase has gotten 3rd like the last 4 years there.
That's fire.
So, yeah, we're going to have a first-time winner there. We'll do our predictions on that and everything. But, yeah, I don't know how to describe what happened with Sexton, man. Like, I don't know. Before we end this, though, we got to give one big shout out to Justin Hill.
Oh,
I was going to say Justin Hill. Jason Anderson, I don't know what the hell was going on with that situation.
Sir. Didn't take no crap. That's right.
Dude, he had it with Webb. He had it with Barsha, bro. Like, he almost dove into the inside on race number 1 and almost took out the entire field before the whoops. Yeah, he was wilding. But no, Justin Hill, top quality. That was crazy.
Well, privateer action, but he's ripping.
I personally thought maybe he hit the quad. Like he maybe hit the quad because of the gap. It was 0.6, dude.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But then I thought about it. Maybe it was the sand section because he did say that he had a really good line in the sand. It's just like a flawless lap. But I was like, oh, I wonder if he went double from the inside, which saves a lot of time, right? Double, triple, which I think he most likely did, but we didn't ever get to see it. And I went on a rant on that too. So
that's my MX Bikes line. Did you go on a rant about the terrible coverage?
Yes. Oh yeah, it was. I ranted for a good. It was bad, but
shout out my guy Jason Anderson. Yep. Didn't put up with nothing.
Yeah, his results didn't like it though.
How many times? I'm pretty sure this has happened to Anderson more than once that he's had someone's foot stuck in his rear tire.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty because that's what happened. That's why they had such bad results because Barsha was stuck in his rear tire.
Also, why does this always happen with Anderson too? He's fighting for like top 4 and top 3 in the championship, and then he just like randomly gets angry at guys and then takes people out and then takes himself out of the race, man. I don't get it. So like that cost him to get freaking like 9th. Like what place did he get? He got 11th, bro. Like that just ruins his season.
Before that happened, Barsha ran him high.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I get why it happened.
No. I just mean I saw Barsha run him high, and I looked over at my wife, and I'm like, "Oh, it's coming." And then, like out of the corner of your eye, you just see him, like, "My guy."
Yeah.
Respect it.
He has these all the time too. Like he just gets frustrated with guys and pissed off, and then he takes them out, and then he ruins his race. It happens every year.
Does Cowie care? Like, I want to know how does Cowie feel about that? Is Cowie like? Anderson, that's what he does, or are they like?
They have to care because he's the only Cowie guy there.
That's true.
Getting 11th when you can get top 4 every race.
If they, maybe they just sponsor Doc and we'll have a Cowie team in MX Bikes. I'll represent. I don't race, but
that's crazy. Yeah, we can go on a rant for Jason Anderson and everybody else too. But yeah, we'll get into our rider ratings. Probably talk more individually about the riders because there's some riders that didn't do well at all, which is very, very surprising. Which we'll get into our rider ratings. Yep. So, but with that being said, Deegan's back. Webb is. We're just living in Webb's world at this moment. Like, to be fair,
finger guns, baby.
Yeah, Sexton. I really hope you bounce back. Roxon doing his thing. That's all I really got, to be honest.
Yep. Sure.
But yeah, so with that being said, make sure you guys hit that like and sub button. We appreciate every single one of you guys stopping by, leaving a like, watching this a little bit. It means a lot to us. Check us out tomorrow for rider ratings. And then we're going to do a new video this week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We'll talk about it here in tomorrow's video. So we're out. Peace.